Hello viewers, welcome back to the Moose Mobile Auto Repair channel, and today we're working on a 2011 Kia Forte 5 with the 2.4 liter engine, and we are going to be replacing the lower control arms on this vehicle because the hockey puck style, the rubber bushing, has been completely separated on this one. So I'm going to show you in just a moment. We are going to be doing both sides, but for now I'm going to be doing the passenger side. It's going to be the exact same thing, so I really don't think it's going to matter if I do either side. It's the same procedure on both sides. So now we are going to be doing the passenger side. So you can see here that the bushing, the piece of rubber, has been completely separated, because it's coming out on the very bottom here. So you can see here it's completely separated, so it can be a safety issue sometimes, because the suspension will be slopping around as you're driving down the road. Over here is a better view. You can see it's completely separated and worn out, and you can see that splitting apart down here. This whole piece should be inside the control arm. It shouldn't be separated like that. So the first thing that we are going to do is to remove the cotter pin for the lower ball joint nut. So we're able to get that out. You won't be able to remove cotter pins if they are severely arrested, so we have to force them off. Typically I break them off, because there's no sense of trying to fight with these things. There's just no point. I just attach a socket and then that's it. So you'll need a 17 socket, shallow or deep. I don't think it's going to matter on this one. Hammer that on. Now, I forgot to mention, I do have some new bolts, so in case if there's any issues here, if anything happens to this ball joint, we'll have to replace it. They are relatively easy to do. So now I have a tool that I can place here to get the control arm out. So now I need to get the old broken cotter pin that's inside the hole. So I'm probably going to use a punch or something to knock it out. Almost all the way out. So you can see it came out on the other end, so you can just grab side cutters and to take it out. There's one piece here and one that fell on the floor. So that's out. I want to take that out now because later I don't want to fight with anything. So we can install this tool that I have by CTA Tools to knock out ball joints. So you can just thread it in a few threads or so and use an air hammer or a standard hammer to get it out. You can use a standard hammer too, and to knock it out and see if that works. If that doesn't work, then you need to use the air hammer. So I had to raise the vehicle a little bit to get my air hammer to fit. So we'll see what happens. This is often my first choice. If this doesn't work, I use like a puller tool or something. So we'll see if this works now. So I'm not sure if that's going to work because that thing was going on an angle. So I think we need to do a plan B. I have some ball joint puller tools, so we will see if that works. So we're off to plan B. I don't think this is going to work. I don't know if this is damaged. I think it might be okay, but we'll see. So I'm just going to install this instead. I think the stud is very, very soft on these, so you need to be careful. So we'll try this and see on what happens. We need to install a nut to protect the ball joint. I'm using Astro Tools 78912. I got this for like $40 from Amazon. So it's my first time using it, so I have to see on how it works. I think this is going to be an 18 or 19. So you want to make sure you have your safety goggles on because this is going to pull with a tremendous force. So you need to be careful. It's not going on squarely, so it keeps on moving. My impact battery just died, so I don't know on where the other one is. I usually have a spare one or two, so I'm waiting for that to charge up. I don't know if this is going to work, and this is on an angle. I don't really like this. I'm probably going to slip. So I don't know if it's going to be needing a new ball joint. Looks like it's mushroomed out here, but we'll see in what happens. For now, I'm just trying to get this out because this vehicle is not quite cooperating at the moment. Trying to see if the air hammer is going to work again, so we'll give it a go just once more and see if anything works out here. So plan C now. We're gonna do this one and see if this works. This is my only hope now. I will have to replace that ball joint. That ball joint is no good. This tool pretty much always works for me when I try to remove ball joints. So we're just going to tighten this up. There wasn't an aggressive pop or anything like that, so it just came out afterward. So that's out. We can get the ball joint out of the way. So what's next? We are going to remove the 19 mil, the nut and the bolt at the bottom. It's a 19 once again. So use a 19 wrench in the socket at the bottom. Get that out of the way. So on these Kia vehicles, you will need to go from underneath and from behind to access this, because there's not too much room, because the stabilizer bar is in the way and the axle is in the way. So it's a 17. Use a wrench on both ends. So on this particular side, only for the passenger side, we are going to remove the axle nut, and just to get it out of the hub and to get it out of the way so we can access the bolts. It's just easier to get to them. So we will unstake the axle nut first. I don't know if I'll be able to unstake this, to be honest, but I have replacement axle nuts, so sometimes it'll unstake itself, so I think we'll be okay. And there you go. Swing the steering knuckle out of the way so we can get this axle out, so that way we have some more working room on where the bolt and the nut is. So I'm not sure if this is going to work. I put a long ratchet through here in between the ABS harness and the strut. So there's a 17 on that end and the open end portion on this end to loosen it. So I'm trying to loosen it now. Probably gonna go from underneath the vehicle and see if that works. So hold the wrench down and this ratchet is gonna go upwards. I don't know if there's enough room for leverage here. I may have to use a shorter ratchet because there's no room for leverage. Got it loosened. That's a tough one. It's extremely difficult. So this wrench is going to sit on the frame rail here. Remove the bolt. Initially it looks like it's a very easy one, but you have to watch out. Be careful. It's just on this side. There's no room here on the axle, so that's why it's a lot more difficult than it really is. So basically I'm working down here, and then I placed my wrench over here on where the stabilizer bar is, and then the wrench is leaning against the frame right here. And then I leave the wrench there, and then I start to loosen the bolt from here. So if you look on the driver's side, I don't think you have this problem here, because the hex nut and the bolt is not really in the way of the axle, so there's a lot more room here. But you probably still have to go underneath the vehicle. It's just easier. You can do it through here, but it's just easier to go underneath the vehicle to access. And so now we are ready to remove the control arm out. I don't think it's going to be much, just a pry bar and to get it out. and it's up. So you can see on this control arm, the bushing is completely separated. It's it's ready to fall out. So compare your control arms. Just make sure everything is the same. I'm using the aftermarket MOOG control arms. They also had the Kia control arms available online for the same price, but I opted out for the MOOG parts instead. I didn't want to use Kia parts. Here it's stamped for right, R for right. And this is also for the right side as well. Just a slightly different design control arm. The part number for this is over here. I will post the part numbers for both sides. It's a Korean car. The part is made in Korea. So now we are going to be replacing the lower ball joint. It's two 17mm bolts. They should come out easily. And these Kia vehicles, they have the lock washers on these bolts. You can reuse them. Sometimes the new ball joints, they come with the brand new bolts. So you should use those if you want. So that's that. I'm going to install the new one as soon as the new part shows up. So the new parts are in. I was in a pinch, so I'm just using the in-house brand of the part source stuff. So this is the new ball joint. It comes with the new castle nut for the stud, and for some reason there were two bags of the bolts, so I'm not sure why. So it comes with new lock washers and bolts, so just use these. It's graded 10.9 for the bolts. And it also comes with a new cotter pin as well. The old Kia part is graded 10. The new ones are 10.9, so these bolts are stronger than the Kia stuff. So now we are going to install the new lower ball joint. I put some grease on the threads, or you can put anti-seize if you want. I will post the torque specs on the screen if you want to torque these. I'm going to tighten it down for now, then I will torque it afterwards. This one is a different size bolt. It looks like it's an 18 or 19, so I can't use the same 17 socket anymore. It's in 18. So I snugged them up for now. Then we're going to torque them afterwards. And temporarily, we're just going to install the castle nut so that way we don't damage the threads in the process. So that's it for this one. We are going to continue off with installing the new control arm. So now before we install this, I like to put some grease inside the sleeve so that we don't have any issues for next time if there are any issues. So what I like to do, I like to clean out this area free of dirt and debris or whatever. You can spray brake cleaner. You spray a little bit of the fluid film stuff. And the same for the other side here. Inside the subframe. So we are ready to install the control arm. Somehow you need to get something, maybe a bungee cord to hold the axle so it doesn't fall on the control arm, because it's going to put weight on the control arm and we need to line this up. So I tied it up on the strut tower so that way it won't apply any weight onto the control arm and we'll be able to get this in easier. So I'm using some new bolts for the control arm. I got it from the Kia dealership. I'll post the part numbers in the description. So I'm trying to line this up now. You can use a punch at the bottom, or a screwdriver or something to line up the bolt holes. Once you line it up, install the nut. We are going to tighten it down afterwards. We're not going to tighten it down just yet. So now we still need to line up this one here in the back. There we go. That's in. Just need to push the control arm in and line it up. Now we need to get the bolt through. And it's in. So install a nut. You might need to push the bolt out a little bit so that way you can fit the nut in. You can start to tighten up the bolts. I'll post the torque specs on the screen. This one I'm probably not going to torque it because difficult to access. So I'm just going to tighten it down tight and you should be okay. I think that should be good and tight. That's my torque specs. This one I'm probably going to torque because it's easy to access. And this one I'm going to tighten it up. So on these vehicles they have a range. So for the mounting bolts is between 72 and 87 foot-pounds. We'll torque it to something in between, maybe 80 foot-pounds, and that's good. And I still have to check what the torque spec is for this one. So we'll do 80 foot-pounds for this. On the other side. So now we are going to remove the bungee cord out of the way and ready to install the axle and the lower control arm back to the ball joint stud. Just going to add some grease inside the hub and on the axle itself. Trying to get the stud inside, but the axle has to go in at the same time. Now we can line this up. try and use something as leverage here under the tire rod end or something. Maybe on the stabilizer bar and link, get that in the way. There you go. Now that's in. So I have a brand new axle nut that I'm going to use. It's pretty much universal for most cars. I think this is an M22 by 1.5 axle nut. So I'm going to check what the torque spec is and torque this down. Just going to temporarily to drive the nut in first. It's a 32. So you'll need to install a chisel or punch into the brake rotor. Torque spec is 202 for the axle nut. So once you're done, you can stake the axle nut. And that should be good. So I'm just going to tighten up the castle nut for the lower ball joint. It's a 17. And we are going to torque it. So the torque spec for this is 64 foot-pounds. So once it's torqued, you can install a new castle nut that comes with the lower ball joint. So I checked the specs for the control arm bolts. The rear one is it has a range 72 to 87 or something. I'm gonna put the proper specs on the screen. So that's for that. And this one is 101 to 115. So I'm okay with 101. That's fine. I'm okay with 101. That's fine. And I put some grease on it as well. And typically you're supposed to lower the torque specs when you put grease on it or anti-seize, but it's not really a big deal for suspension bolts. Suspension bolts can handle the like, it's okay if you over torque it by a slight amount. It's not going to do anything. So that's fine. So everything is all done on the passenger side. I believe that this side is the hardest side to do. So just make sure everything is tight and then you should be all good to go. So one thing I wanted to mention is that I'm working on the driver's side. I haven't done anything yet. But if you are replacing the ball joints and the control arm, there's no need to remove this. You can leave this attached. So I'm going to be replacing both ball joints. Initially, I didn't want to replace the ball joints because I wanted to save the customer some money. But because of the condition of the vehicle and stuff, I'm just going to go ahead and replace both ball joints because I had some trouble on the other side. So we're just going to replace everything. So I don't need to waste my time and to mess with this. You just disconnect the two bolts here and where the steering knuckle is, and that's it. There's no need to play with the castle nut down here. So on the driver's side, it's very easy. I can hook up a 17 mil socket with the U-joint easily, and a 17 wrench over here, and just unzip the bolts in and out, and that's it. It's a much easier and straightforward job, and I don't have to touch the axle or anything. So alternatively, if the impact does not work, you can use a short half drive extension and a shallow 17 socket and somewhat of a long half drive ratchet with a wrench in place touching against the frame, and then you can loosen up the bolt for the control arm for the rear part. Just giving you some quick tips for the driver's side. The driver's side is going to be a slightly different procedure than the passenger side. So once it's all out, you can just take the bolt out, and then that's it. So the control arm is out. So once again, you don't need to screw around with this thing. This is just you can just replace it, since we're already doing the control arms, because the other side was not cooperating. This one is separated as well, but was not nearly as bad as the other one, but this is coming out. So that's going to conclude this video for the lower control arm replacement for the 2011 Kia Forte, and you could see that the bushing completely separated on this one. So just make sure everything is tight, reinstall the wheel. Torque spec is between 65 and 80 foot-pounds for the wheels. I still have to do the other side. Probably will do that off camera. It's going to be exactly the same, except that the driver's side, I believe it should be easier than the passenger side because the axle is not in the way. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please don't forget to give it a like, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already a subscriber, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day and take care.